You don't need louder or more affirmations. You need a different posture. Affirmations try to override the doubt through repetition, but if they aren't working for you, askformations evolve your identity. And that distinction changes everything about how manifestation works. Hello, for those of you that are new to me, hi, I'm Brooke-Sidney. I'm your favorite mindset and manifestation coach. And today we are talking all about askformations. It was actually a request for more of my askformation contents from a very new subscriber. So make sure that you are in the comments, meeting me there and requesting more content that you would like to see. I've been teaching askformations for a while now. It has become a signature part of my work. So I will make sure and tag the askformations playlist. And so recently, as I said, a new subscriber asked for more of this content. And I realized something. People are tired of trying to override their doubt. They're ready to evolve their identity instead. So let's talk about why this actually matters. So let's talk about first why affirmations actually create resistance. If your affirmations ever felt forced, if you ever said, I am wealthy, and then you felt your body like tense up, or you felt yourself immediately thinking, but I'm not wealthy, or you declared, I am secure, and then your mind and body immediately are like, no, you're not. That's not failure. It's actually identity protection, your current identity protection. It's when your conscious mind makes this bold declaration, but your subconscious mind is taking you back to its normalized baseline. Your nervous system starts registering conflict. And honestly, the nervous system's job is stability, not expansion at any cost. In essence, it's trying to keep you safe. So when you say, I am abundant, but your identity believes, I'm struggling, your body braces, because your identity is designed to preserve coherence, not contradiction. And then when you try to repeat the affirmation louder or more frequently, you're simply attempting to override your doubt. But the subconscious does not cooperate. When it feels like it's being overridden, it resists. So now let's talk about what we can do differently and why questions actually work differently. And here's where askformations come in. They come in and they shift the entire dynamic. The brain is naturally wired to answer questions. Statements trigger evaluations. Questions then trigger search. And I've talked about this in like our brain functions like an AI. I'll tag that video. So when you say things like, I am wealthy, your mind then evaluates like, is this true or is it false? But when you ask, why is money starting to feel safer for me? Or why is money starting to come in more for me? Your mind begins scanning for the evidence, looking for proof of this. A question does not demand immediate identity changes. It opens a pathway to it. Instead of trying to silence doubt, you soften it. And instead of overriding identity, you stretch it. That's subconscious cooperation, not force. So now I want to share one of the reasons why I even kind of got on the askformation path and why I have found they work really well for me. I'll tell you what I've noticed personally. When I use askformations instead of affirmations, things move very easily. Not dramatically, not even magically, naturally. There's even less tension in my body. I feel like I'm not focused on like overcoming all these doubts, all this resistance. And I've noticed that I actually feel more connected to my higher self, my higher mind, as well as God, what you may call divine intelligence, source, God for me. But I feel more connected when I ask and when I use askformations. To me, it feels like God and my subconscious began answering that question together. Often an idea surfaces, I get an aha, I feel like I'm being downloaded with divine wisdom. a solution becomes obvious, a conversation happens, a door opens that I didn't see. And I'm not chasing it, I'm noticing it, and that's the difference. Manifestation doesn't always fall from the sky, right? It requires divine actions and divine alignment, as well as ourselves stepping into a new identity. And what I'm saying is that when I use affirmations, I start really, truly feeling this divine wisdom. I start seeing things different. I start opening myself up to different ideas, solutions, wisdom. Doors start opening, opportunities start unfolding. And I feel like my path starts becoming more synchronistic. I'm starting to see different things. And then the manifestation appears, not really feeling necessarily magical, but aligned. And the sugar on top of all of it is how our nervous system, I feel like, relates to askformations. Affirmations can create adrenaline when they're too far from your identity baseline. Your body senses instability. This isn't true. This is unsafe. And when the body starts feeling unsafe, it contracts. You literally feel the resistance. But askformations feel different in our body. They feel curious, and curiosity is regulating. Curiosity tells the nervous system, we're exploring, not we're pretending. When the nervous system is regulated, the subconscious becomes more receptive. And when it's receptive, it's creative. That's when movement happens, not because you forced it, but because you allowed it. So let's talk lastly about how to use askformations properly. And I feel like this part is important. An askformation should stretch your identity, not shock it. If you are in a financial panic, saying, why am I a millionaire, may create more resistance. But why am I learning to feel more secure with larger amounts of money? Why is abundance becoming more natural for me? Why am I noticing opportunities I used to overlook? These askformations stretch your security, and your identity evolves in increments. It's not shocking. Sustainable expansion is gradual. Shock often collapses. So let's nail down the distinction. Affirmations declare a new identity. Askformations invite identity to evolve. Affirmations push, askformations partner. And when you shift from force to cooperation, manifestation feels less unstable, more grounded, more integrated, more aligned, more sustainable. I invite you to check out my latest video on how manifestation should feel. I'll tag that video. So I'd like to invite you this week, choose one area: money, love, clarity, career, purpose. And instead of declaring something your identity doesn't trust yet, ask, why is this becoming easier for me? Why am I being guided more clearly now? Why do I feel more supported than I used to? Then pause, listen, notice what surface. Because answers don't always arrive looking like a miracle. Oftentimes, it looks like insight, as courage, as boundaries, as decisions, as co-creation with God, not override, opening. And for those of you that need help, book your one-on-one session. I'll see you in the next video.